Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Go Native Farms. And today we're going to be talking about the organic insecticides that I used in my garden this year, and also the parasitic wasps that I used in the garden. And we're going to talk about if they worked or if they did not work. And we're going to go take a look at the plants, and I'm going to show you what they look like. So let's talk about the first one. The first one is BT, Bacillus thuringiensis. And this one is a bacteria that is found in the soil, and it is used to kill different types of worms. And I'm using them to kill the corn earworm, also known as the cotton bollworm. I also use those parasitic wasps to control that worm as well. But this BT works on different types of worms. It doesn't just work on that. I used it to control the worms that usually attack my tomato plants every year. And that is the tomato hornworm. And we're just going to kind of look at my tomatoes real quick, and we're going to see how they look. And if you check them out, there's absolutely no chewing of the worms on my plants. And that has never happened to me before. They look really good. I don't see any problems going on here. They could use a little bit more fertilizer. We're going to walk around the backside. But I did spray the BT on these, and I don't see any chewing whatsoever. And I do see a good amount of tomatoes coming on the plant as well. I don't see any tomatoes chewed up, and it's looking good. And this plant as well. So it did really good on the tomatoes. Now let's talk about how you're supposed to use this pesticide or insecticide. So basically, you're going to read the ingredients, and basically you're taking a couple of teaspoons per gallon, and you're going to put it in here into the sprayer, and then you have to spray it onto your plant. And I also use that on my corn as well, and we'll be looking at the corn a little bit later. But you have to spray this on the plant. Now, if it rains, you're going to need another application, and you're also going to need another application as the new foliage comes on the plant as well. So it worked really good, but I had to do a couple of applications. So you have to keep that in mind, and it's not going to be a one-time spray and then it works for the rest of the year. But as you see, we're getting a decent amount of fruits and vegetables on the plant. And last year, the tomato hornworms chewed up my peppers really bad, and they also chewed up my tomatoes a lot. And this year, I didn't have a lot of problems, and we're going to go look at those peppers in a minute. And then we also use these parasitic moths right here as well, the Trichogramma. And those are a live moth, and they come on tabs that they put in there, and the moths are alive, and you release them into your garden. And we'll talk about that a little bit as well. I use those for the corn, and we're just going to kind of walk down and take a look at the peppers, because the peppers, I had no problems with these peppers as well, and I want to show you guys what it looks like. So last year, the tomato hornworms got all over my Zea peppers, my Zea chili peppers, and I had to pull off tons of peppers, and they chewed up the tops. Now, as you'll see here, there's a whole row of peppers. These are a Mexican Valero pepper. They go all the way down. And I think if I stand on the other side, you're going to get better lighting. But as you'll notice, there is no chewing, very little chewing. You might find something right there on that leaf, which was not a tomato hornworm. But as we walk down, I didn't get one tomato hornworm on these plants. I was pretty excited to get good results. I'm pretty glad that I used this, and you can see lots of peppers all over the plants and no chewing whatsoever. We must have 75 feet or so with no chewing and lots of these Mexican Valero peppers. They're all over the place. We're going to walk to the end of the row just to show you that I didn't get any chewing from those tomato hornworms. I didn't even know that the tomato hornworms would attack the peppers, but they did. I haven't really grown a lot of peppers in the past, so that's why I never really had to deal with that. And all the way down this row, not one tomato hornworm. None of these leaves are chewed up, which would show the signs of a tomato hornworm. You might have a little bite here and there from whatever bug, but by and large, these look great, and we are at the end of the row now, and it worked fabulous. Look at all those chilies, and these are really good chilies, and you can probably find the seeds of these at the native seed search at the end of the year, because they'll be going back to the seed bank. All right, so now let's talk about the corn. So with the corn, I did end up getting some worms on there. Not as bad as the year prior, but I did get a couple of worms. And we're going to take a look at a couple different corn that I pulled off. This is a beautiful Akama blue corn, and it looks pretty good on this side, but as you can see, some worms got in there and they chewed that up. Now, you have to remember that one application is not going to be good enough if it rains. And I got a little bit of worms there, and the rest of the corn looks pretty good. So if it rains, you're going to have to come out here and you're going to have to reapply it. And also, depending on how you apply it, makes a big difference. If you miss a cob, then a worm can go ahead and get on that cob and they can come in. And that is another thing to take into consideration. Let's just pull this one back right here and kind of look, see what we got going on. Nice, beautiful blue corn. Not seeing any worms at the top where they usually come out. And like I say, I did get some worms on here, but I saw a reduction in worms from the year prior. So overall, I'm really impressed with the BT for helping to keep down the bugs. Now, this corn is all organic, so everything I do in my garden is organic. I don't use GMO or the BT ready corn or any of that stuff. So the benefit of using the spray on BT is that you don't have to eat or ingest that BT, which is a bacteria, and maybe not everybody does well with that bacteria when they're consuming it. So it might upset somebody's stomach. So when you have that GMO corn that has the BT, which is inside of the corn, you're always going to be eating it. But in this situation, the BT was just on the outer husks there. And when we remove those, we remove the BT. And also you can wash off your tomatoes and your peppers as well. So do remember to wash your fruits and vegetables to get off any of that BT. And we're just going to take a look at another really nice corn here that is coming on. That's a beautiful red, and I don't see any worms on this one as well. So overall, I'm fairly impressed with the BT. And I also did release those moths over here. So the Trichogramma moths may have also helped to keep down the corn earworms. Now, I did probably need to come out and put on a few more applications of the BT, and I probably needed to spread it on a little bit better. That way I had close to no worms. And next year, I'm just going to have to get out here and spray it on a little bit better and come back out and respray it after the monsoons wash it off. And don't forget, any new foliage you're going to have to spray, any new ears you're going to have to spray. So overall, I was pretty impressed with the BT powder that I used, and I think the moths also helped as well. I will be using the BT powder next year for certain, and I hope this video helped you guys. If it does, please do like and subscribe and share my videos. In the links below, I'm going to show you the name of the company and their web address where you can obtain these products, and I called them to find out specific application rates. Now remember, whenever you're using any kind of a pesticide, you always want to read the first aid instructions and the precautionary statements, and you want to use all of the proper protective equipment that they recommend, whether that be eye or respiratory or gloves. So read everything prior to using it. And I was basically using about 1 to 2 teaspoons per gallon, and that worked pretty good for me.